Have you ever just stood and watched a river flow by and wondered, what's really going on in there? The natural world is just full of these incredible hidden systems, and some of the most amazing ones are working totally unseen right in our waterways, doing this constant, natural cleanup job.
So that brings up a really big question, and let's just dive right into it. Can a river actually clean itself? It sounds pretty straightforward, but the answer opens up this whole fascinating world of natural processes that are happening all the time. And believe it or not, the answer is yes. But, and this is a really big but, only up to a point. Our rivers and lakes, they have this amazing, built-in ability to process waste and pollution. But it's absolutely crucial to remember that this talent isn't infinite. It has a very clear limit.
Right, so this natural ability has a limit, a breaking point. And, of course, scientists have a name for this critical threshold. It's a concept that, honestly, we all should probably get familiar with. It's called assimilative capacity. All that means is it's the absolute maximum amount of gunk or pollution that a river or lake can handle before things start to go wrong, before real environmental damage kicks in. You can think of it as nature's own safety buffer.
Actually, here's an even better way to think about it. To make this whole idea super simple, just picture a regular kitchen sponge. It's a perfect way to visualize what's going on.
You know how it is. A sponge can soak up a pretty big spill, no problem. But we've all been there when the spill is just too much, right? The sponge gets totally saturated and the water just starts pooling up everywhere. Well, that is exactly what happens to a river when its assimilative capacity gets maxed out.
So what is it that pushes these amazing natural systems past their breaking point? How does that natural sponge get so completely overwhelmed? Well, the main culprit is us, specifically our concentrated activity.
It all really comes down to density. I mean, whenever you get large groups of people, or even animals like in industrial farming, all living packed together in one area, the waste they produce gets super concentrated too.
And all of that concentrated wastewater, it usually flows into a river or a lake at just one or two spots. This sudden, huge dump of pollutants is what just completely overwhelms the system. The natural processes, they literally can't keep up. The sponge is officially waterlogged.
Okay, so what are the real-world consequences here? What happens when we push past that natural limit and that balance is totally lost? Well, the result can be pretty dramatic and devastating for everything living in the water.
And we're not talking about a minor problem. We are talking about severe environmental degradation. The entire ecosystem gets thrown into chaos, and it creates this terrible chain reaction of negative effects.
This overload leads to three huge problems. First, the dissolved oxygen levels. That's the oxygen fish need to breathe. They just plummet. That, of course, leads directly to the second problem, massive fish kills. And on top of that, all the extra nutrients from the wastewater trigger these huge, harmful algae blooms, which choke out even more life. It's basically a system in total collapse.
This brings us right to the solution. As our source material puts it, to stop this from happening, wastewater treatment is absolutely necessary. It's how we make sure that what we're putting back into the environment doesn't overwhelm its natural ability to take care of itself.
So let's talk about that solution. Wastewater treatment isn't just some boring industrial process. You should think of it as the critical tool we've developed to help support and restore the natural balance that we all depend on.
And I mean, the difference it makes is just night and day. If you look at untreated discharge, the oxygen levels crash and the risk of those nasty algae blooms just skyrockets. But with treated discharge, we help keep the oxygen stable and we slash that risk, letting the ecosystem actually breathe and thrive.
And this right here is why it all matters so much. This technology is what makes it possible for us to live in cities and towns without completely trashing the water ecosystems around us. It's really a cornerstone of living sustainably on this planet.
So if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Our environment has this incredible, almost magical ability to heal itself. But that power is not infinite. It has a very real, measurable limit.
And that leaves us with one last really important question to think about. In our own lives, in our own communities, and as a whole, are we really doing enough to respect our water's natural limits?